Hey guys, I wanted to kind of, well, every day I talk to you, whatever. Once again, things are not changing. We have actually made some pretty definitive plans. First of all, scooch a little closer. Okay, so our definitive plans are this. We have found, I need to get the paper, hold on. Okay, so yesterday we had bought a couch like almost 2 months ago, and it had not come in yet, and it was supposed to be coming in like tomorrow, and then they were going to ship it to our house. Well, I love this couch for this home, but now we're leaving, so we actually called them up and said, hey, can we cancel that? Is there someone else in line? Because they said it's their most popular model, so they were like, that's why we had to wait so long, and because of COVID. So we canceled the couch. We got our refund because we're probably going to buy it when we actually buy a home. We'll probably get the same couch. It's just not the time. So we got that refund, and then after that we went out to Clarksville and we looked at RVs. So I wasn't ready to do this. I kind of was, but I was afraid to do this because that means, yep, we got plans. But we needed to know pricing and layouts of RVs and campers. Okay, Brandon is really angry with me because I cannot keep these straight. He's like, Class A, Class C, Class whatever. I don't get it. And he has tried for all day yesterday to get this to go straight in my head, and my dyslexia cannot understand it. It's just like a jumbled mess. It's like a dot to dot that has no numbers for me. It just doesn't connect. So I told him, I'm like, you got to talk about these things to me in a different way. Tell me they are fifth wheels. I know what that is. A pull behind. I know what that is. And I know what kind of vehicles those need. And then motorhome. I don't care what kind of motorhome, what class it is, and all that stuff. So we went and we looked at them yesterday because we were like, okay, if we didn't sell our home, could we do an RV and like come back home in between jobs or when we needed doctor's appointments and those types of things? And so we went and looked at pricing, and yes, we could do that, but here's what it involves. Here's the research. It involves, if we're going to do a pull behind, we learned all this information yesterday from this place. I have his card. I'll put the picture up. So if you're looking for RVs or you want to just go see them and tell him, I would like to know pricing and differences and what it takes to pull that, he will tell you all of that. He was awesome. And so there's no air conditioning, so it was hot. Pull behinds, we would have to have a Suburban to go down to one car. I didn't want to be dependent on us always having to have two cars when we drive, moving our home. So if we say wanted to go see Stuart in Florida or in Virginia where he's moving, or come back home to see parents or doctors, if we want to bring our home, we didn't want to have to both drive every single time. As a very quick little side note, we have just had an appointment with our pediatric psychiatrist, and we've been doing virtual appointments for about the past year. So it's not like this is anything new to any of our doctors. In fact, they are encouraging us to do this because it could be the very best thing for our family and for our children, because it's going to get them out and active and doing more. And since we will be trapped in a small space, they will want to be out doing even more. So internet will be sparse, and I know when we take away their internet, they do pretty good. They read more, they do more activities. So our doctors are all encouraging us to do this, and they're all going to keep us as long as our insurance is taken by them, which is awesome. And what that meant is we had to have a Suburban and that style of car that had enough seats. And to pull behind RV, trailer, whatever, you can't pull a bunkhouse that is big enough for our family that would work. So you would be right at your max. So we would be going so slow up mountains, down mountains. It would be really hard on whatever car we got. And our van is awesome. And it's brand new off the lot when we bought it. Never done that before. And it doesn't have a tow hitch. It can't pull anything. So we would have to go through the process of looking again for the right car and buying it and dealing with, oh, do we want new? Do we want used? Do we want cheap? Do we want expensive? I don't like making all those decisions when I'm talking about selling my home and uprooting my entire life. So that's why we went to this RV so that's what involves a pull behind. If you're going to have a Suburban, you need to go small, and you can do a bunkhouse, but then you're kind of trapped. Driving 2 cars everywhere if you do anything smaller than a Suburban, like a tough truck or something, but we don't all fit in a truck. Next option is a 5th wheel. You're still buying a truck. We don't fit in a truck, and you can't ride in the camper while you're driving, and so we would be dependent on having 2 cars no matter where we went if our home was going with us. So we started looking at, I call them motorhomes. You know, the different kinds, and it's in the last video. But the kind that we decided on, we went from saying, look, we want to spend around $50,000 to, okay, well, that's how we would go if we had to do a pull behind or a 5th wheel or something cheaper. And we didn't really want to go that route. I kept thinking, that is so much hassle. Why don't we just keep our van and get a driving motorhome of some kind so that can tow our van, so that I'm not dependent on driving every time either, because while we're driving, obviously one of us would like to sleep so the other one could drive if we're in a hurry, or I would love to edit or do homeschool or all of the things that I have to do in life and not be driving at the same time, because that would make me angry all the time, because I would be sitting there driving and thinking, I have so much work to do, and I would be doing the editing in my head, and then I would have to go do the actual work because that's the way my brain works. I can't shut it off. I mean, like the last 2 weeks, I'm up at the middle of the night. Well, I either just don't go to sleep until 4 a.m, or last night I fell asleep and was up at 2 a.m. and was up until about 5 a.m. and finally fell back asleep. And we slept in, because it's the first day of no school, until like 11 o'clock, everyone in the house, because we were so tired. Okay, this is going to be a really long video. What we decided, and I'll put this in a little shorter segmented video, is we are going with either, I would like to do a 30-foot, but I think you have to do a 32-foot. I don't know which kind Brandon decided on, but this is what it looks like. And that might not be the brand, but that's what it looks like. And the 32-foot, I took a video. Did I? I don't know. There's a bunkhouse one. And what we figured is if you go new, we would have the cost of our van and we would have the cost of our motorhome. We would sell this home and put the equity into, for a down payment with the motorhome, have a very small payment monthly, because Brandon's job, he would be doubling his pay everywhere we went. So our bills would still be very low, and we would still be able to have a lot of savings, which was the goal, and be able to go wherever we want. And if we have our home on wheels, even if it's smallish, then it's less work for me. Because I'm already homeschooling now. I'm already starting a business. Oh, I haven't even told you guys yet. Sorry, never mind. Don't think of that. There's already other things in the works that are just about ready to be launched, and it's going to be exciting. Really, really, really expensive one. Go look up the bunkhouse ones, and here's their info. Oh, I'm gonna have to take a picture. They gave me this brochure. We're looking over it. Brandon spent all night looking at it, so he knows what size he wants and what's this. And I have to like slowly tell my husband things because he's so overwhelmed right now, which he should be. This is scary, but he has to do his own research and then come to me. And it's funny because I've like worked all of these things out long ago. Because what he was like is, oh, I don't want this kind of motorhome because I don't know anything about that. That terrifies me. I will never do that. And I'm like, slow your roll, Captain Crazy. I mean, he was like yelling at me, no. And I'm like, you don't even know yet because you haven't even sat in one. You need to at least see it. And the cool thing is that if we do sell our home and we don't want to buy right away, or they don't have the motorhome we want, we can rent one of these for a week, 2 weeks, a month. It's going to be more expensive. But if you go new on something like this, very little breaks right in the beginning. And so we would slowly be able to learn the motorhome instead of buying something used and not knowing what's going to break. In this company, they take from the factory and they go over it from top to bottom and make sure that everything is perfect. And they ask you to come for a few days so that the techs can teach you how to use it. Everything's working out. I keep telling Brandon, God's in the details, and we're just going on this mission. It'll be awesome. So the plan is to sell our home as quickly as possible, And then get in one of these, whether we're renting right in the beginning, and we can drive anywhere around here and park. There's an RV park right down the street on a beautiful, right where the Ohio and Kentucky rivers meet, right next to the park. Ooh, in fact, that would be a really good idea. Man, if I sold my home tomorrow, I'd be happy because now we know what we're doing. That's kind of the point of this video.